Hey guys, this is the Great Lugia. Welcome to Pokemon Rijon Adventures The Go Through Part 69. And apparently this is called the Mount Boulder Gym, even though Mount Boulder Cave is that other cave, not this one, and they don't seem to be connected at all. So yeah, this is Ronan. He's the final gym leader, the ground gym leader who uses a slacking. Yeah, ground types. Definitely ground. So yeah, this is a bit of a surprise, considering it's like a slacking is his first Pokemon, and he's a ground gym leader. I mean, I could see rock types, but ground? No, but normal. I mean, that's kind of odd, especially a slacking. So not only did he steal Norman's Sprite, but he also stole his signature Pokemon. And yeah, slacking can be a pain. This one does no Focus Punch, though, which is kind of stupid, because, that way, it won't attack much at all. Although it does have Facade, like Norman's. Cough, cough. Stealing ideas. But, whatever. I have Vaporeon go for Surf again, and Lefties restore some of the HP. And unfortunately, he uses a full restore, which is annoying. And of course, he used it on the turn that slacking couldn't do anything, so now it's going to get to attack me again next turn. Although, I just decided to risk it. I'm risking it would use Focus Punch, and it did. For some reason, it uses that way more than Facade. And, yeah, now I'm going to do it when it can't move at all, because, Focus Punch would have done a lot of damage, even from max HP. So I just go for a Hyper Potion, which obviously does wonders, and it's loafing around because slacking are lazy giant apes like King Kong. The reason King Kong died is that he was lazy. Lesson of the day, I guess, even though that really is kind of random, but who cares? So yeah, just more surf spamming. And thanks to Lefties, it's not in red range anymore. I'm wondering if he might have used another full restore if it was. But I'm not entirely sure. And, yeah, slacking goes down. Vaporeon gets a lot of experience. His next Pokemon's a Tyranitar. That I could see in a ground gym leader. Considering, even though Tyranitar is not ground, it is rock, and it evolved from ground types. So I'm thinking for a bit. I decide Furret. I know Furret can't KO it, but Brick Break should do a bit of damage anyways. At least enough to weaken it for Vaporeon. Because I don't want to risk, Vaporeon getting EQ'd or Rock Slided by this thing. Even though Vaporeon's really bulky, it doesn't have the best defense. Well, it has, average defense, but still, this is a Tyranitar, 11 or 12 levels higher. I don't really want to risk it. And Brick Break doesn't do much as I expected. It just goes for Crunch. But surprisingly, Furret actually survives. And will I survive from the sandstorm? Will I survive the sandstorm? Let's see. Yes, I do! Awesome. Furret, you did your job really well. I'm proud of you. You got Tyranitar in under half HP. A Tyranitar 15 levels higher than you, nonetheless. And for some reason, Tyranitar uses Thunderbolt. Maybe he'll hopefully scare Vaporeon away, but I'm confident I can probably outspeed it. And even if I can, Thunderbolt's still a special move. Tyranitar only has 95 special attack, or 90 maybe. That's still decent, but not nearly as good as its physical attack. And, of course, it's not stabbed, and Vaporeon has beastly special defense and HP. But none of that matters, because Vaporeon outsped it anyway. And, yeah, the Pokemon here are giving a ton of experience, and his next Pokemon's an Aggron. I'm thinking about it for a minute, but then I realized none of my Pokemon can really do a whole lot to it, so eventually I just decided to stay in with Vaporeon. I did consider bringing in Ampharos to paralyze it and use a few Thunder Punches, but I was afraid of Earthquake. So yeah, this is his third out of 5 Pokemon, still not a single ground type. Again, I get Rock and Steel types, but still, he's a ground gym leader, he should have a ground Pokemon or two. And I just go for Surf, and I get a KO without any crits. I mean, I knew Aggron didn't have the best special defense, but wow. And I knew it was double damage, and I know Vaporeon is decent special attack, but still, it's like 15 levels higher. Wait, no, more like 10 levels higher, but still. Well, it was 11 levels higher, but now it's 10 levels because Vaporeon just leveled up from its corpse. And now he has Steelix, finally a ground type. And, oh yeah, one thing I forgot to say with Vaporeon regarding Tyranitar and Aggron. Thank you, third generation, physics, or whatever you want to call it, or game mechanics. Yeah, that's what it's called. Thank you, third generation game mechanics, because even with the Sandstorm, it's not 1.5 times special defense until 4th generation. And I have 3 Pokemon I realize that can do double damage to this thing. I realize Vaporeon's done enough, and I'm not entirely sure what Charizard can do with Dragon Claw. I mean, I know it can do a lot of damage, but I don't want to risk it getting KO'd early. So I decided to lean in with Aerodactyl, and then once Aerodactyl gets KO'd, I'll just go in with Charizard to finish it. Although, the Sandstorm does help a bit, you know, hitting Salamence, and again, I can kind of barely get why he'd have a normal type. But since when does a ground trainer have a dragon flying type? I mean, that's pretty crazy, and that substitute does about just as much damage as Rock Slide, so thanks. And nicely Aerodactyl is able to outspeed it, just goes to show how fast Aerodactyl is. And he has a Citrus Berry, which doesn't heal much, thankfully. And I just go for another Rock Slide, and yeah, substitute fades. But although when I brought out Aerodactyl, I forgot about Intimidate. I remembered it like a split second after I selected Aerodactyl. But thankfully, Rock Slide's still able to do just enough, I think, to undo the sub. And yeah, it's still getting buffeted by the Sandstorm. And I'm just going to go for another Rock Slide. And I realize I'll barely be able to survive one more Crunch. And he literally survives with like 1 HP. And he goes for a Crunch. And let's see if it's right. Yes, it's right! I survived with 6 HP. Awesome. And Sandstorm's raging. And pow! He got KO'd by his own attack. Awesome. Or, well, own ability, technically. But I love it when that happens. The Star Badge. Dun 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 dun. That's the final badge in this game. Well, at least until maybe they make those other betas, but I don't really care much for that. And you get TM26, which is Earthquake. And I'll definitely teach that to one of my Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure Aerodactyl can learn it. Though I'm not entirely sure what to delete. Alright, so let's go ahead and use Dig to get out of here, but can't use that here. So yeah, he was fairly challenging, I'd say. Slacking was easily his toughest Pokemon, only because it's so bulky, had leftovers, and he used full restores, but I still pulled through. Very well, in fact. Wow, I did this to check to see what he'd say, and the last person, I thought it would be like, congratulations, you got the last badge, but no, blow me away, Giovanni was the gym leader of Seashore? What the hell? This isn't even Seashore, this is Igloo, or Mount Boulder Gym, or whatever you want to call it, but, yeah, I guess this is Mount Boulder Gym it's called, but still, that's pretty nuts. It said Seashore Gym. And leader Giovanni. Unless they were planning this gym in Seashore and making Giovanni the leader, but I don't know. So yeah, go away, Onyx. And yeah, hopefully I won't run into another wild Pokemon, and I do not. So yeah, there's a couple of stuff we can do now. I know we can go to the Elite Four, but there's a certain other thing we can do, like a few side quests before reaching there. Depends on how much money I have to spare. I'll check that. Also, next episode, I'll definitely, teach Aerodactyl to move. I forgot here, even though I told myself a second before I was going to do it. Oh yeah, that's because I need to delete a move. I'm not entirely sure what to delete yet. So yeah. Just checking that. And yeah, now I'm just saving, and next time we'll either be headed to Talrus Heights or do some side quests. Not sure yet. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.